you're anything like me, you probably already have one of these lying around, but in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Shaun White's Pro Skateboarding on the PlayStation 3, specifically the Blus30303 model of the game, and we're going to be configuring it in RPCS3. As of the time of recording, I saw that there was nothing on the wiki, and I took a look at the game, and it was pretty buggy. Recently, my friend Red decided to make a video covering the Shaun White snowboarding and skateboarding video, and the intrigue of how that game was made, as you will see in this video, made me want to get the game running at 60 FPS, and then once I did, show the community my configuration. So let's get into the configuration and then take a look at the graphics, and I'll take note of a few things that you guys should be aware of when you guys try this out for yourself. So of course you need to make sure that you have the game, and like I said, I am using the Blus30303 version of the game, and it's just version 1. If you go to the create custom configuration, in this case I'm doing change custom configuration, you should be able to copy these settings nearly identically and get a playable result. So I am using Vulkan. I did notice that online a lot of things were stating that we're going to want to use OpenGL. I found that to be not very efficient. My frame rate was very stuttery, and this seemed to work a lot better running with Vulkan. I did have to upscale to 1080p and push the resolution scale to 1080p, and then switch it to Fidelity FX. I then noticed I needed to use a VSync because I was getting a lot of tearing, and then my frame rate was all over the place, so my shader mode, I switched it to Legacy instead of Async, and this worked a lot better. Just for fidelity's sake, I pushed my anthroposcopic filtering to 16x and my frame rate to 120 just to give it a little bit more headroom. You're going to want to push your Z-call accuracy to the relaxed fastest mode and your shader quality to ultra. I don't think I changed anything in here, so just make sure that you have enables SPU loop detection on, your block size is set to safe, and your approximate X float is your SPU X float accuracy. I also went to the advanced tab and turned on read depth buffers. I found this useful as it would help with a little bit of the bloom flicker that the game has. So like I said, I wanted to point out something that I found interesting when I was setting this up. And one of those things is the really long load time in the very beginning of this game. Now I do have quite a bit of the shaders compiled already, so keep that in mind. My frame rate will be higher because of that. This game will have cutscenes throughout it. I recommend that if you're playing that you allow it to compile as many shaders as it can while it floats around the 3D map. This will give your gameplay a much smoother experience because a lot of the map and areas will have already loaded at awkward angles and different angles from the character reference. This will make your experience a lot better. So this is specifically the black screen I was talking about. You're just going to want to be pretty patient with this. It will eventually get to the game, but it does take a bit. I've seen this take up to 3 minutes, so keep that in mind. Even when it seems like it's frozen, if RPCS3 isn't telling you it's frozen, it's probably not, and it's trying to do something. And there you have it. It loaded. It took minute 35, and we are in the game. Now again, make sure that you are compiling as many shaders as you can early before you're entering these areas. Don't skip cutscenes. Allow the shaders to be built as often as the game allows them to be. This will maintain your frame rate to be much higher and cut down on some of the glitchiness that you might experience. Since this game has two different shader mechanics that are taking place or something. You can see that the world changes as I do tricks. And this will also impact your shaders while you play initially. So keep that in mind. This game's sweet. I mean, there's not a massive trick selection, and like how the tricks are done is not extremely impressive tech, but the world and how this game plays is what makes it so worth playing, in my opinion. But as you can see, the game is pretty dang good. I have to destroy the propaganda speakers, which I haven't done yet. But in terms of skateboarding games, this one, I would say give it a chance now that it seems to be running a lot more efficient. I am running this on a 12700K Intel i7 12700K and a 3080 with 32 gigabytes of RAM. So take that into account when you are setting up your computer. My graphics settings might be a bit too high. My higher, pixel depth and my display resolutions might be quite a bit higher than some people's systems, as well as changing the anthroposcopic filtering might be able to increase your permission or your graphics quality. Anyways, yeah, I hope that was helpful, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the game. Bye. So yeah, that's about it. Those were my settings to play Shaun White Skateboarding on my PC. If you're like me and you're sick of your optical media breaking on all of your consoles, this is, again, one of the only ways for you to play your games backed up, unless you're really interested in tearing apart your consoles and replacing it yourself. But as that tech disappears more and more, you end up having to do CFWs and modding your console anyways, so later.